Hello there guys, and welcome to episode 19 here in Elite League Racing Cup in Japan. Well, after winning the race here in Mexico, well, very miraculously, because I didn't expect to win until the end of the safety car, of the final safety car, and well, I just went surprised and very well, with a great morale and with a great confidence that I could make a back-to-back win in Japan. So I just grabbed my setup and I just chose my tire location, the balanced ones, and here we go for our flying lap to begin qualifying. While I was heading out for my flying lap in my out lap, I was just seeing two drivers are just going to stop in order to just stop me. And what are you doing, Triggerster? What are you doing? And you cannot. Oh man, you cannot do this to me. Oh, man, that didn't start pretty well. I just started qualifying and I received 5 place grid penalty because I just got very confused because I thought Custer was just going to the outside to runoff area, but I thought he was. I don't know what to explain, but well, let's just begin the flying lap and let's go to our quickest, although the maximum we can start is 6th place because we cannot aim for pole position because of grid penalty. And here we are heading to turn 1. Unfortunately, we just got our lap time invalidated. Yeah, that was just terrible, and yeah, as a racer I just decided to spin. Yeah, that was just horrifying. And well, at least we have 2 more attempts. No, I think I just, yeah, two more attempts. So well, let's just keep our heads calm down and we're just going to get to another attempt for our flying lap. Well, in my second attempt it was just going decently, doing those corners very decently, but I was just stealing a bit with my steering wheel glitch, and here we are into the final corners and I just decided to press the throttle too early and I just spun and crashed into the wall. But well, I decided to go to the pits and reverse, but I decided to just go for another lap that will be my in lap because I didn't want to risk to go in reverse and get disqualified from the qualifying session. So yeah, it was just a waste of minutes, and although I just set a time, but it wasn't in the proper lap time. So yeah, we're just going to start the back of the field if we don't do another lap time. So yeah, we have just like 2 attempts, I think. So, no, I just 1 attempt. I mean, oh man. Yeah, but well, and the last attempt we have to do this very greatly, or else we're just going to be mid. So well, let's be prepared. When I was just getting to the garage, I was just checking the WhatsApp messages from the chat group, and I was just seeing some messages until Bernie just sent a message about that the qualifying will be the only session of this lobby because the race will be set on another lobby. And the reason is because I just, some of the, yeah, it was just very ridiculous, some reasons. One of them is because some of the drivers didn't choose their corresponding car, and that's why Struck a Million didn't have a seat because most of them, yeah, just couldn't get a seat or just chose the wrong team, and some of them decided to join but they shouldn't be there. For example, Promedio and Pink, and also because Tabal couldn't join the lobby. So yeah, he said that when qualifying is over, we will make another lobby, and we'll just only have the race, but the starting grid will be preceded by the qualifying results. So yeah, I decided to have the task to send the photo of the qualifying results when it's over to Bernie and see if he could make the great line. So, well, let's wait until the 2-minute mark, and after that we're just going to head up the garage and set another attempt of the flying lap. So here we are with our final attempt to set a flying lap, and here we are heading into the final corner, going into our flying lap, beginning our lap. Thrusters are now activated. We're now for now improving like 0.2 of a second. I mean 200s. Heading to turn 1, we're just doing decently, but then to turn 2 we just went a bit wide into the corner entry. But then heading to turn 3 we're just doing it decently, and then to turn 4 as well. And then to turn 5 we're just doing decently, but then to turn 6 we just see that the house is just very slow, and we couldn't prevent him, and we just crashed with him, and unfortunately he damaged my front wing, and that meant that our lap time is now ruined. And to make things worse, I invalidated the lap time and I decided to retire. I was almost exiting the session, but I realized that I have to screenshot the qualifying results to Bernie, and here are the qualifying results. So, well, that's it. Well, let's get into the race with our different lobbies. So, yeah, we're just going to begin qualifying. I mean, just going to begin the race in another lobby, and yeah, that thing. So, well, let's get the race, and why I'm just wasting some of the seconds, so let's get started. So here we are with a pre-race strategy. It's going to be a medium hard strategy, the default one, but I decided to underfuel the car until like 52 kilograms, and well, that's it. That's the strategy we're going to do with the race. So let's get started and wait until people get started as well, so we can begin the formation lap. So, well, we're just about to begin the formation lap. It has now begun. We're just waiting for the other players to start their engines, and we're going to start the engines. And we're just seeing about the MFD that wait a second. Our MFD is a bit different. Why is it? Oh no, don't tell me. Ah, damn it! You must be joking, man. I just forgot to open my setup. Man, I'm just going to use that default setup for the entirety of the race. No, that's just going to be terrible. And unfortunately, we're just going to have a terrible race because of that. Why on God, I forgot about that thing. That was just terrible. Horrifying, that thing. And unfortunately, we have to suffer with that thing. There's no turning back. Yeah, that was just why did you just forgot to just change my setup? I forgot. No, man. Yeah, at that point I was just very angry, and yeah, I just knew that I'll lose a lot of points because of that thing. So yeah, that was pretty heartbreaking for me, because yeah, I realized that I was so idiotic that I forgot to open my setup. So yeah, that was just terrible. I was just heating up my tires in a suffering way. So yeah, that was just horrifyingly terrible. No, you cannot do this to me. That was just, yeah, it was terrible. Well, heading to the last corners, we're just going to set up our grid slot. So we're just going to heat up our tires in order to make a decent start. Although we might have a good start, because with the default setup we obviously have a decent start, better start than the time trial setup. Yeah, I was saying about that thing. So here we are secret up our grid slot. Let's see how much. Oh no, we just we just crossed the line because we just got past the grid slot, and unfortunately we are in a big disadvantage. So here we are, 5 red flags about to turn on. Let's see if the players get connected correctly. Yes, they are. So now 5 red flags have turned on, and it's lights down. Away we go. Obviously we have a good start because of the default setup, so we're now into its 10th position. That doesn't mean anything because our setup will just be trashy, so it doesn't matter about that thing. We're now into P7. That was just a miracle, but still I was still very angry about that. I forgot to change my setup, and we are miraculously in 6th position, but I was knowing that I'll lose a lot of places, and I just make contact with Storm, and unfortunately that was an illegal overtaking. We just crashed with Storm and damaged our front wing, and that made me a lot angrier, and I was almost destroying my front wing because Sandbest rear-ended the other Ferrari. I think it was Bernie, and he just coasted. So yeah, and I don't know who was just trying to dive on me, but yeah, it was just suffering. I was just suffering doing those corners very badly because of the setup. So yeah, I was horrible, and I have to suffer for the rest of the race, and I think I will go out the places because of the setup. Yeah, that was terrible. I was just suffering from that thing, and yeah, it was pretty horrifying. Heading into lap 2, I was still suffering, having to catch Victor miraculously, but I think he was just chilling. But I don't know, I was just trying to be fast still, but with our wing damage and our setup as default. Well, in those corners I was just trying to catch Victor and overtake him, although it was a bit harder because of my damaged front wing and my default setup. And we just sink the third corners into the last corner, and now I'm up into P8, and there is now enabled. So we're just trying to overtake Victor. I don't know which side. Almost to the inside, but I decided to back up because Victor was just trying to close me the gap, so I didn't want to go in that gap that no longer exists. So safety cars. No, goodness, I just rear-ended Victor, but he didn't spin, so I didn't get the penalty. So that was just relaxing for me. But the safety car is now out, so this means that the build is bunched up, but that doesn't matter for me because, well, you know, I just have the default setup, and that means that, well, we're just going to have a terrible race. We're just going to jump out of those places, and as you could see, exiting the 10K curve, Struckermilling is out of the race, and we're now into P6. But then a weird thing happened because Bernie just invited me to another lobby, but that was just weird for me. But I decided to just go for another. Well, check the messages, and I just realized that red flag has been deployed. Yes, they deployed a red flag. Although it was not in the game, but they deployed by the league steward. So that means that we're just going to be in another lobby. Although the qualifying position we're going to start is going to be as determined as the race starts. So unfortunately, I'm not going to start in 6th position. I think they just considered the first 2 laps as like it didn't existed. So although we're just going to have 30 laps of racing, they're just going to consider it as with the last 27 laps. So, well, let's get into the lobby. Not lobby, I mean. And let's prepare for the restart, and hope we don't forget about our setup. So here we are in the pre-restart strategy, and I did the first thing was choosing my setup. In this time I didn't forget that thing, and I decided to put into 60% the differential because I didn't want to forget that thing, because I just think I might get the better start if I have 60% of differential instead of 55%, because the wheel spin less, and that will be the same strategy, medium hard and 52 kilograms of fuel. Yeah, sorry about that thing. But, well, here we are with the formation lap about to begin. We're just going to practice start, and we're just going to hit up our tires, and yeah, that was just a spinny one, and we're just going to hit up our tires, and oh no way. Guys, have another bad news. I realized that I forgot another thing, and it was to lower my rear tire pressure. Man, again, this time, no man, if I don't get careful, this could be worse than forgetting my setup. And well, but in time trial, I just steal the setups from the top players, and I just save my setups for the race. I'm just the lazy one. The only thing I changed from the race, the setups, are just the tire pressure. I just lowered the rear tire pressure to the minimum, or just 21, and it was in order to not get my rear tires overheated, and unfortunately just forgot to do that thing, and if I don't get careful, that might end up way worse than forgetting my setup. So yeah, I gotta be a bit careful with that thing. So yeah, unfortunately I cannot get my full potential in this circuit, I mean in this race. But yeah, that was just terrible. But well, let's just hit up our tires. Not a lot, because our rear tires are going to overheat. So well, rear tires are now cooked in, so we're just going to heat our front tires, but I don't know how to heat them more than the rear ones. And well, we're just going to be prepared to park our pit slot, I mean. And well, that's the thing we're going to do. We're just going to start P12. As I said earlier, the restart results are going to be like the previous start. So we're now in P12, and we're parking, and unfortunately, yeah, we just made the same mistake as the previous start. So yeah, we are in a terrible disadvantage, but let's see if we can minimize that disadvantage. We're just waiting for them to get loaded their matches, and we're just going to see if the 5 red lights are being turned on. Yes, they will, and it flags out, and away we go. We're just having a decent start for us. We're now into P10. That was just a decent one. We're now to P9, heading to turn 1. We're just seeing if there's gonna be a carnage, and there is, because Williams has just spun in. Oh, we just made contact with Silent Max, and we just almost spin, but fortunately we just cut our rear end, so that means that we didn't spin, and we're now into P9. I just tried to pressurize Silent Max, but I had to conserve with our tires because we don't want our rear tires to be overheated. But that was just a mid start for me. But well, let's see if something interesting happens. I don't know, but I don't think so. But still, we're just going to conserve our fuel and our rear tires, because yeah, also we need to conserve our fuel, and that means that we can, if we get our rear tires really conservative, we might not worry about the fuel. But we see that Sullivan has just take the corner extremely badly. He just went right into the inside runoff area, and we're now into 8th position. So, but that doesn't mean anything, but still we need to catch Stock and Gludak, and we see that Stock Million has just gone wide, but I don't know if we're just going to overtake him, and I don't know if we can do this thing, but well, we're just going to catch him as much as we can, and up to, well, for me it's lap 4, because I'll just consider as the first 3 laps, well, let's just call lap 2, because the first 3 laps are considered as null. So, well, Stock Million is now being really way slower. We see that Tulio has just spun and lost a lot of places, but I couldn't overtake him because he just picked up the pace fastly. Fast enough to not being overtaken by myself. But here we are ending into the 10th curve. Let's see if we see someone coming back to exit, and we see that Gludak has made a bad exit. We're just trying to go around the outside, overtaking him, but unfortunately we just went extremely deep, and we're seeing that Stock Million has just ghosted, and he's just trying to fight Duleo and overtake him down the inside into bunker, but unfortunately he just didn't do that thing. We're just trying to overtake Gludak down the inside into the 2nd curve of the spoon curve, but we couldn't do this thing because Gludak has just greater top speed than myself, and he's just got away from me. So, well, we're just trying to overtake him. Let's see if we can pressurize him and make him a mistake, and of course he did, but unfortunately I just got a worse exit than him, so that didn't affect for him. But I was just trying to get his draft, and there is now enabled, and let's see if we can overtake them. And I don't know, but well, let's see if we can catch Gludak. Well, we're just catching him, but one thing is catching him and another thing is overtaking him. But well, this is just a field train because we cannot overtake them, and we see that there's yellow flags, but it is just irrelevant. And we see that Flores has just lost a lot of places, and well, that was just irrelevant for us because we didn't gain or lost any places. I was just trying to catch Gludak and overtake him in the next lap, but unfortunately I just went wide and got a warning, and I just knocked my rear brakes and almost spin, but still I had DRS. But unfortunately I was in danger of being overtaken by Victor into the next lap, lap 4. I was just trying to defend desperately, and unfortunately Victor just overtook me very easily, and I think he just crashed me and overtook me down the inside into turn 1. And we see that Storm and Mercedes and Julio has just been involved into a crash, and we're now into 8th position. And Jovan was just trying to be really fast, but he just ended spinning, I think so, and lost a lot of places. But unfortunately I couldn't overtake him because he was just he just picked up the pace just in time, and Jovan just made a terrible exit. I was just very close with him, and I was just trying to dive bomb him, but unfortunately we couldn't overtake him completely, and we just got a bad exit, and unfortunately we couldn't overtake him. But I was just trying to overtake him into the spoon curve, but I didn't do this thing. Instead I decided to conserve my fuel, but I did a terrible cornering. Let's see. Oh my, yeah, alright, sorry. I decided to make a desperate try to overtake him into the Casio triangle, and let's see if we could do this thing, but I didn't want to risk it because I didn't want to lock my brakes. And here we are, theirs is now enabled. Let's see if we can overtake him. Let's see, lap 5. Storm is just trying to overtake me, but I decided to just be really fast. Deploying the ice, and I was just almost crashing with Storm because he was just overtaking me around the outside. But Jovan just went quite into turn 1 and I just could overtake him. We're now into 7th position. So yep, that was just pretty great, and we're now very safe, and I was just trying to catch Victor, and well, let's see if we can. Oh yeah, Victor has just spun, and unfortunately as a result I decided to slow down a bit, and Jovan was just trying to make me a dive bomb around the outside, and that made us going wide, and unfortunately I just received a 3-second time penalty. What? A 3-second time penalty? But I just got only 2 warnings, and oh my goodness me, what? Second warning and now 3-second time penalty? That shouldn't be received if I didn't get more than 2 warnings. I just got 2 warnings. That should be get if I get 3 warnings, not 2. I don't know, but yeah, that was just very frustrating. That means that I'll be dropping a lot of places, but still I was in P6 physically. But well, let's be really fast in order to pick up the pace and be really fast and reduce and make that effect of that penalty gone. And then here we are into lap 6. We're just getting that effect undone because we're just getting fast, and unfortunately we just didn't get careful, and no, man, that's just terrible. I didn't get careful. I was just pushing too much because I was so fast. I pushed too much that I forgot how to be careful with my rear tires. Man, I just got hit it so much that I spread the throttle too early, and I think the rear tires lost a little bit of the grip, and man. We just lost 3 positions, and we're now like into P9. If the penalty gets applied, this is just pretty bad, and I was just desperately trying to be 3 seconds ahead of my teammate in order to get my penalty unaffected, and that was just terrible. And here we are exiting the 130R, and here we are entering the chicane. And to make things worse, we just spawned once again, and we're now out of the points. Well, we're not out of the points, but we're just into 10th position, and that's just terrible. We just dropped 5 places in a matter of half a lap. That's terrible. I forgot how to be careful with my rear tires, and that's how it went. So guys, if you forget to lower your rear tire pressure, remember to be careful with your rear tires, or else you might end up like me. And yes, my rear tires got overheated, and yeah, I have to suffer this for the rest of the race. Well, I was just having a little bit of a safe of having snap of oversteer, and this lap I just received another snap of oversteer, and this time I couldn't save that thing, and we're now out of the points, and our rear tires got really overheated. And I was just checking why I got a 3-second time penalty if I just only got 2 warnings, and the reason is that 2 warnings in 1 corner. In reality, I did get 3 warnings, but the last 2 ones were at the same time. That was just terrible. Yeah, I cannot believe that I've been got by that thing. That's just a race to forget. Well, I was just suffering outside of the points, and I was seeing that there's yellow flags into hairpin, and now Storm is out of the race, and that means that safety car has been deployed. So I'll be boxing for hard tires, and that means that I'm now into the points paying position. But unfortunately, as a field punch up, I might drop a lot of places because of the penalty. So yeah, I have to increase that gap behind behind me. I mean, have to increase the gap between the drivers behind me when the safety car ends, obviously. So, well, we're just going to do that thing, but meanwhile, we're just going to box for hearts. And I was entering the pit lane, boxing for hearts, and I was just going to press to turn in, but unfortunately, I just got a good one instead of a perfect one. So, yeah, 3 times worse, and yep, that's going to be pretty terrible, but unfortunately it's just going to be so slim that we didn't get our positions affected, so we didn't have to worry about it. We're just going to chill, and we're just going to heat up our tires, and also we're just going to be on the punched up field, and let's wait until the safety car ends. So safety car is in this lap. Safety car is in this lap. The reason why I'm in 8th position and not in 10th position is because Silent Max and Victor both boxed and they lost a lot of places. But unfortunately, with a penalty, I might not stay with P8 if those gaps are maintained. So we need to pull a great drive, and also we need to be careful with our hard tires. So I decided to not hit up my rear tires so much and just be careful. So safety car is about to end, and I just once again got a decent safety car relaunch. So didn't lost any places nor gained. So well, it's just a decent one. We're just catching Flores and hope we can overtake him, and I just did a mid corner at turn 2, and well, let's see if we can catch Flores and aim to the top positions. The top 6 was just a bit bunched up, and we see that the Flores has gone one, but that didn't impede him to overtake in more down the inside into the Casio triangle, and now it's a 7-8 for Alpine, and now I was aiming to go for the lead of that 7-8. So I was just trying to overtake him more around the outside to turn 1 with no ERS. I think he just seated me the position. I think he was just thinking that I was doing my team orders. I think he's just helping me out. Thank you. But let's just catch Flores and now officially into P7. But it would be real if it wasn't by Bernie, because he's yet to have a 3-second time penalty. But he's less than 3 seconds behind myself, so that means that Bernie will get up many positions because I have the penalty, and also Inmore and Flores and Jovan and everyone else that that are between me and well, let's see if we can overtake Flores and aim to the top 6 or even to the top 5. We overtake Jovan. So here we are at lap 19. Bernie was so slow that now the gap has been very long, that now he's outside of the top 9, and we see that Haas is now out of the race and Blood is out of the race. That Haas who is out of the race, and safety car has now been triggered. So that means that the field is going to punch up, and Victor is the only one between myself that doesn't have a penalty. So that means that I'll lose at least 1 place, unless there are more drivers who still are yet to have a penalty. So 8 laps remain, and I was just thinking to box for softs, as I have a new one. So that means that a snap of oversteer, and that means that we can go for extra grip, and let's see if we can have a great advantage. But I think everyone is going to go for soft tires because that's the obvious option. So well, let's go to box for soft tires, and let's see who are the ones who stay out with the mediums or the hards. So well, 8 laps remaining. Let's see if our soft tires doesn't wear out so much that they get into the tire cliff or even get a puncture. So we're now entering to the pit lane. Now we are into the pit territory, we're seeing that Flores has slowed down so much that it isn't necessary. That means that we're now really near by him, and fortunately we just got an optional turn in. That means that we got a 2.3 seconds of pit stop, and we're now into soft tires, and we see that they're pitting for, wait, mediums? What? Why are they just focusing for mediums? Are they overestimating the soft tire? I don't know, but I think they've lost a lot of places and also lost the tire grip, the advantage of having the soft tires, one step of tire compound faster, and I think they're in a heavy disadvantage. But let's be concerned about the rear tires, because the tires might be overheating very easily, so we need to be careful and not push too much, or else we might spin. So, well, let's punch up our field and let's wait until the safety car ends. So, safety car is in this lap, safety car is in this lap. We are now heating up a bit our tires, not too much, or else my rear tires are going to be overheating and I'll suffer from oversteer. And remember that I'm not careful doing that thing. So safety car is in this lap, and we see that Flores has stopped. The relaunch has been so slow that I almost overtook him, and that means that, oh my goodness, it looked like spun while he was hitting his tires. I think he just pressed the throttle too early, and we got a not so good relaunch, I think so. But well, we're going to try our best. And we see that, oh, there's carnage into turn 2, a bit of carnage, but no one has spun or crashed. I think they crashed, but not spun. But well, let's see, we're now nearby Flores and hope we can aim to the top 5 positions, and that's the thing we're doing. And we need to be a bit careful with our rear tires. We can do this aggressively in this lap, but in the next laps not a lot, because that means that our tires will be extremely overheating. For example, like 100 degrees Celsius or like 104, and those amount of degrees that are overheated. So yeah, we need to be still concerned about the care about our rear tires. So yeah, we need to do that thing, and hopefully we can aim for the top 5. Meanwhile, we're just catching Flores. Hope we can overtake him into the chicane. We're just deploying all of our ERS. Not a lot, because it was just going to be a little bit useless, and that means that, ooh, Jovan just got ghosted and lost the pace, and I didn't risk overtaking. He came in and, oh my goodness me, Jovan spun while making contact with Flores after he was going to overtake him, but I've been overtaken by Duleo. That means that I didn't lose any position, but he has a drive to penalty, so that means that if he serves that penalty, I'm going to be into the top 5. So that's going to be very good, but still we need to be a little bit careful with our tires in order to not spin because of the overheating of those tires. And let's see if we can do this thing. Meanwhile, Duleo needs to be served his penalty, but he's just getting too fast, and I think he's just going to forget about that thing. And Duleo has served his drive-through penalty. As you could see, he's entering the pit lane, and he has served his drive-through penalty. I think he didn't forget that he had to serve his drive-through penalty, and now into 5th position. So let's catch Flores, and let's see if we can aim into the top 4 and even get into the podium. So let's get so fast and really fast, but that means that our tires we're going to be overheating, and that means that we're going to spin, and oh man, I was just, oh man, the spin was just so bad that you cannot do this to me. Cannot do this to me. And to make things worse, Victor just he's just brake checked me. He's just rear-ended me. That's just terrible. this is terrible, and I'm now into last position. That's just terrible. And well, although I'm technically not in last position, but this goes just so far away that I consider it that I'm now in last position. So yeah, that means that I just forgot to be careful with my rear tires. That's just pretty frustrating. And my goodness, man, that means that I'm just an idiot. But that's just pretty terrible. I cannot believe that I've done that idiot thing. And I don't have chances to come back because there's now only 3 laps left. And please, can I just go into the points paying position at least? But it's not likely because look at the gap. And also Limor doesn't have a penalty, so that means that chances of getting points is now over. So yeah, still I decided to just go very aggressive and still not learning how to be careful with my rear tires. That's just really stupid. Just stupid, man, just doing those oversteers like an idiot. I cannot believe that I've done that thing. And so I was just having to get hopes of getting to the post position. This happened, and I was just feeling that I was just an idiot, man, who doesn't know how to be careful. That I'm just always going on the aggressive way. That I'm just an idiot who doesn't learn from my mistakes. That's just terrible. And man, that it's spiraling all over again. And also Austria. This time I was just doing the ridiculous in this time. Doing the ridiculous, spinning a lot of times. I think that was the most times I've spun in this season or in my career. It's just terrible, and I was just spinning my rage, and I was just doing so aggressive, like I forgot to be careful completely, and I was just in my full madness, and I was just so angry that I decided to just spin by my rage, and I was just deciding to retire from the session. And man, I just forgot. I was just wanting to retire from the session, but I decided to suffer even more and continue with the race. Man, that was just terrible. And let's just finish the race and get into the last position. And
well, what happened? Let me know your